welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the IKKI68 Aurora, a 65% multi-layout hot swap keyboard. This is from Wuque Studios, sometimes pronounced Wuque, Wuque. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. I actually had a lot of trouble pronouncing the name, so much so that I reached out to Sir Timmy Timbit over at the Wuque Studios Discord. He was nice enough to give me some pronunciation guides, and I promised him that I would both butcher it and send him a video of me butchering it. So thanks, Sir Timmy Timbit. I really do appreciate your interaction. The IKKI68 Aurora is an entry-level keyboard that has a ton of great stuff going on for it. So let's talk about the good stuff, the bad stuff, and then we'll get into a full review in just a minute. So the great stuff is that it has a bunch of options for layouts. You can have a split backspace, ISO enter, split right shift. You can split left shift. All of those things are common enough, but in a hot swap keyboard, they're kind of hard to find because you have to do some interesting stuff with the sockets and the PCB. They did a really good job with this. The multiple layouts are really nice. The construction, really good, really solid. And it has a lot of add-ons that really allow you to build your own perfect board. The downsides is that the base PCB lacks per key RGB, and it is a slightly higher price than other entry-level keyboards. Not so much so that it's restrictive, and the things that come with it, I think, more than make up for the price difference. But it's a point to note, and the name is hard to say. So let's get into the review. This is pretty clearly another entry-level keyboard, designed to bring people into the deep end of the hobby, being accessible and relatively affordable. But it honestly has a depth to it that will attract even the long-time mechanical keyboard addict. The IKKI68 really adds up to something unique here, with a variety of layout options. They've done a good job making their gasket chips easily removed or inserted, and they've had some striking color options available with their collaborations. Assembly and disassembly is pretty simple too, with only 10 hex screws and threaded inserts in the top case. This board won't punish you for wanting to modify it. The round one of this group buy ran in late February through March 2021, but round two is starting actually very soon, probably now as the release of this video. They've had a few collaborations since, so it's been available off and on throughout the year, and they are going to have more collaborations later this year. So even if by the time you're watching this video, round two has already ended, they will still do more collaborations this year. So there's still going to be other chances to grab this keyboard. In terms of exterior construction and design, the top and bottom cases are made from injection molded polycarbonate. Round one had some translucent and opaque options. Round two is going to have a combination of translucent and opaque and a few aluminum top case choices as well. It's held together with 10 hex screws, and the top case has threaded inserts to prevent those screws from stripping out the plastic. The feet are standard 1 centimeter bump-on stickies. The typing angle's a fixed 6.5 degree, and the USB-C connection is centered in the back. I didn't notice any flaws on the exterior or interior of the polycarbonate case. It's very clean and smooth. It's really nice, honestly. The only minor thing was that they somehow forgot to send the bump-on feet, the stickies. I had some extras, so it wasn't a loss. Maybe annoying if you didn't have any laying around and didn't get them in the package, but not the end of the day for me. By my scale, it came in at about 760 grams without the weight or switches or keycaps. The brass weight was about 315 grams, so fully built, it came in at about 1.2 kilograms for me. The website lists it as 1,120 grams fully assembled with the weight, and 800 grams without the weight. once you get to the inside of the keyboard, you'll find that the mounting style is gasket mount, with the gaskets being affixed to these chips. They have silicon or poron gasket strips. You install them on these chips, and then you can add or remove however many chips you want to the keyboard. The wide variety of layout options is the strongest point for the IKKI68. They went out of their way to allow for a wide variety of split choices, much more so than any other hotswap keyboard I've seen. With left or right shift, splits, backspace, split, an ISO enter, or split spacebar, the choices are just endless. Round 2 is only going to have 2 PCB options, wired and wireless, both with a lot of support. I think the wireless will not have split spacebar, but should have everything else. And I don't believe either of them support per key RGB. The decision to keep the USB-C port on the PCB instead of on a daughter board definitely will allow them to cut some costs. This might be divisive. I don't know that you as a user will specifically find this a drawback, but it is a point. Some things like the Q1 or the GMMK Pro, they're using the unified daughter board so that they can sort of separate that from the main PCB. One of the reasons you might think about going into the round 2 is the new PCBs are going to be 1.2 millimeter thick as opposed to 1.5. So they're going to be thinner with some additional flex cuts to give you a more flexible typing experience. That's true for both the wired and wireless. That's good and bad. The good is that that's cool, right? And the bad is that your standard PCB mount stabilizers may not fit as well due to them being designed for the thicker standard 1.5 millimeter PCBs. They are offering the stabilizers, their own branded stabilizers that are compatible with the 1.2 millimeter PCBs. So that's an option. So in terms of typing and user experience, I've been really thrilled by this keyboard. It's an absolute pleasure to use and look at. I really like the badge. I didn't get any options. It's magnetic, so you can just swap them out if you have additionals. That's cool, but I didn't test it. I think the lighting is okay. The underglow gives it some nice distinction. If you have a translucent case, it can really look unique. I'm personally not bothered by the lack of per key RGB lighting. That may bother you. It did not bother me at all. The typing experience is pleasantly relaxed. The gaskets do a great job of minimizing the vibration that gets transmitted to the case, and the silicone pad that it comes with really doesn't leave it sounding hollow at all. I also appreciate the dedicated light for caps lock, which, while pretty common in keyboards, can be a real detriment when it's omitted, and if you ever have a keyboard that doesn't have a caps lock indicator, you'll notice. For software and configuration, this is QMK and VIA compatible. It came pre-flashed with VIA firmware, and I mostly just used it with VIA. I can give it a 5 out of 5 for ease of use. I really like VIA and the speed and ability to remap any key. It also has this cool layout toggle thing here, so you can configure it. Let's say you want to use an ISO enter, you would click here. If you want to use a split right shift, you click here, and now you have an ISO enter and a split right shift to map your keys to. I thought that was really cool. With QMK, you can always go deeper and more custom, but I found that VIA is about the easiest and smoothest keyboard configuration software around. Some things you may miss if you're used to a more RGB heavy software like Razer or Corsair or something. They have a variety of lighting modes and a lot of per key options. Since it's just the underglow on the IKKI68, you don't really have a ton of flashy effects, just a few subtle ones. When viewed from above, it's not a lot of difference at all. I like the concept of the badge with a cutout for light over here on the right, but in practice I just installed the blank. I found the lighting kind of distracting when it only shows over here. I guess if you have your own badge you might enjoy it more, but it just feels a bit like a gimmick to me. So what makes the IKKI68 my favorite entry-level plastic keyboard of the year? I think it's the wide variety of layout options in a hotswap keyboard. This gives me the options to play around with different layouts that I may have never tried. I had not consistently used a split right shift before, and I like it. The ISO enter is the same as it's always been. If you've had a keyboard with ISO enter, you may or may not like it, but it's cool to be able to switch it out. I also like the simplicity of the design and the ease of disassembly. Some keyboards feel like they punish you for wanting to mod them, and it makes taking them apart a bit of a chore. That's not the case with the IKKI68. It's very user-friendly. In terms of cons, there's very few. The design is just about flawless. You may not like a center USB-C port. You may not mind that at all. The Gasket chips make it seem like you're going to be able to customize this into this huge amount of flex, but the gaskets are really more to minimize vibration transmitted to the case in this design, as opposed to making it super flexible. The round 2 is going to have the PCB and plates with the flex cuts, and those will be significantly more flexible than the round 1. So if that's what you're looking for, then yeah, jump in on the round 2, definitely. I think some people will find the lack of per key RGB a big con also, but a lot of people aren't going to mind that at all. Let's have a quick talk about the round 2 color options. It's going to look really good. The Aurora Snow has the white aluminum top. The Aurora Fog has the sort of smoky clear look. The blue is clear blue. Pink is a solid opaque pink that looks really good. Seems to match, in this render, it matches the GMK Olivia colorway really nicely. And the Aurora Clear is just a clear polycarbonate. They seem like safe options. I think the Snow looks really good. The others are acceptable. They're nice. The real winners are the Zen Pond collaborations and the Winter Breath collaborations. Those look really good. I like that Zen Pond aluminum top and the opaque bottom. I think that's very nice. They also have some pretty cool colors for the aluminum tops with a e-white, red, black, pink, and navy aluminum tops. I think you can have a lot of options here. They are $50 more, so all these add-ons can add up pretty quick. I think the biggest changes for round 2 are going to be the plates and PCBs with their flex cuts, and the thinner PCB is really going to mean that it's going to have a bouncier typing experience. That's going to be nice. In summary, the IKKI68 Aurora is a great 65% hotswap keyboard. It has a wide variety of layouts, and that gives you a lot of great options for customization. The construction is really solid, and with a wide range of add-ons, you can really choose to make this keyboard perfect for you in any way you want. I think the downsides of no per key RGB and a slightly higher price might be a detriment to some people, but I do think that the price is warranted in what you get. And even though the name of the studio is a little hard to pronounce, I still think this is a great keyboard for you. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there. Welcome to the closet. I'm the channel. You may have noticed my recording studio is new. We've been putting a little work into converting this side of the closet into something presentable for as a background for recording audio and videos and stuff. Yeah, it's still a work in progress, but we like it a lot. So I should, yeah, this available with their collaborations. The designers, because everything's really striking, isn't it?
I totally do it.
You see yourself?
Yes.
Who's that little boy?
And there.
Say
Cheese!
say like and subscribe.
Lucky fly! Oh, what's this?
Trying to.
What's this, Dad? What's this, Dad?
Those are switches on there.
Oh, what's in my
You
dad?
want to sit in my lap?
Hmm.
All right.
It's so hot.
Oh, it's so hard. Okay, ready?
What this fly?
Whose belly is this? Okay, we're gonna go like this. Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about Dean. He's a rebel. He's got a message for you. What's your message?
I did it.